What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about questions and I'm going to give you answers. Thank you for posting your questions and comments in the chat. And I think that this will help people uh, get a little bit of clarification on getting help with your credit and your debt. And also if you're getting sued by a debt collector. First, I want to give some shout outs to people who are either becoming customers with credit repair and also or reaching out to get help with their court summons response. We've got a shout out to Daniel, Marquita, Eleanor, Muhammad, Aaron, Loretta, Julia, Abraham, Arlene, Hassim, Kim, Frederick, Joseph, Chase, Cassandra. I can't even say your name. I don't want to, can't even pronounce your name. I think it's Obed and Shakita, Loretta, Amber, Daryl, Jose Jr., Cherie, Robert, Howard, Reginald, Anthony. Uh, if I missed you, I'm sorry. I just had my staff get me a little list and I just ran down that list. There's obviously a lot more people, but I just wanted to give a quick shout out over the last few days. Um, so let's get to the question and answers. We have some very good questions from people. Here's one here. They said that they received the summons and there was no case number on there. Something that I've been seeing with some of the documents is that the debt collectors are they're not filling out their documentation 100% the way that the court requires it. That could, in your area, that could make them have to refile the case. You can get it dismissed based off of some of those technicalities. But what we do is we just comb through all of the documents, and some of the times you'll find it in another spot that it wasn't. Usually, you'll see that case number if they forgot to put it on the summons, because that summons is prepared by the debt collector's attorney uh, or someone in their office, a paralegal, and they might forget to put it on there, but it's definitely going to have a court case on the cover form or the cover sheet that comes with your summons. It's going to definitely be there. If it's a real case, we've seen where people have been served where they were not actually being sued. They were using this as a tactic to get people's attention because what during COVID, what something that was allowed to happen was debt collectors could upload the documents and get a file number, but that was not actually a case number. They had to pay the fee to get the case number, but they did have a file number. So you can watch out for debt collectors who might still be trying to play that trick. Someone had a question about late charges, and that they said that with their credit card company they jacked up, so the account gets closed, uh, or right before it gets, or when it gets closed and it's still not charged off, they're racking up late payments, or during the time before it gets closed, racking up payments, racking up fees, racking up interest rates, racking up a whole bunch of different things on the credit card, and they balloon them up because it makes it more valuable when they try to sell them, or it just when they go to do the set go into a settlement phase with people, that's going to be some of their little cushion that they're going to utilize for going down on the balance that's stated on that they say that the person owes, even though a lot of it is ballooned up. But you'll see credit card companies doing that. So, but that, and then if they're going to sell it, then that's just ballooning it up to make it look better to the debt collector who's going to purchase it. But during negotiations, what we've done is we've always pushed all the way back to when that original principal amount, and then start working back from there. And if you do a good job negotiating, you're going to be way under the fees and way under the principal amount. Let's see here. Someone said that they keep hearing that it doesn't matter if you pay it in full or half once it hits collection. What are my thoughts? My thoughts are that depends on your goals. If you are trying to buy a house, you can't have a collection on there, so you might pay it in full so you can move forward, or you might pay, settle and pay it in half. And then also, that's if you're just like, that's just to move forward faster. Like if your goal is to move forward faster, either because you're trying to get something like a house, because they're not going to allow that to be an active collection, or you're just trying to get your credit in order and you don't want to have to look over your shoulder for stuff that's going to come back after you get yourself into a better position. That's going to be part of it, is to deal with those collections and get them all resolved. So regardless if you pay it all in full or you pay it in the settlement, your scores will go up. You will see your scores start to go up because they will not hurt you by that. It's crazy how the algorithm works. Is that they will not hurt you because of you paying that collection. It's actually going to work in the algorithm in your favor that you've actually resolved it. Now, here's something crazy with the new FICO 10. So, say you pay your collection with the new FICO 10, your scores are going to start to go up because you don't have any collections that are not resolved. That's if you pay it in full or pay it half or whatever amount. But now check this out. If you have do a debt consolidation where you didn't go down on, didn't miss any of your payments, you just were, over your head with your credit cards that with your spending, and you were struggling to make your payments, but you made your payments and you went and got a debt consolidation loan. Guess what? With the new FICO 10, your scores are going to go down, not because you missed payments. It's going to go down because the algorithm is saying that you're high risk, that you're high risk. In the past, what people were doing, they were taking balances from one credit card, going to another, and they would always say, well, that's, I'm trying to get the 0% interest that they're giving, so they would transfer the balance. Credit card company got upset. They started saying, if you do that, we're going to knock out your cards. We're going to turn that card off because, number one, it could be risky for people using the card again, even though they transferred the balance and if they didn't shut down that card. But also, the credit card companies are in it to make money. And if you're doing that, they're not going to be making much money. So they kind of put an end to people doing that. So the algorithm will actually work against you if you're doing balance transfers. You will see this. You don't have to take my word for it, or just go to FICO's website and look at FICO 10T, which all the companies are going to be moving to. So if you do anything, so if your credit is straight, you do everything the right way. If you're doing stuff where you're shifting money with balance transfers or debt consolidation, not to say that you shouldn't do it, I'm just making you aware that your credit score can go down. Here's another question here. It says that this person is saying that they had a dispute. They have evidence that they were defrauded with their card. Like they have solid evidence against it, and that the credit card company sent their documents to them to fill out. And they also brought up in here, and I did answer this too. They said that should they fill out that information, and then they started talking about a hardship department, and they said that they don't have a hardship department, and that they offered different monthly payments, but nothing to write off, forgive, or settle the account. Number one, until it charges off, you're not even going to be in the settlement. Number two, for hardship, is like I said, it's going to be either medical plus financial. Number three, if it was fraud on your account, you shouldn't even be talking about hardship, deferment, none of that. You should only be filling out the information, the forms, and getting it over to them with your evidence that your account had fraud on it. You're sending mixed signals to them by doing that. Like you're saying, hey, I was defrauded, and then you're saying, what about a hardship in 1099-C? So all of that stuff could come later if you were defrauded, and you shouldn't even get 1099-C because that you did not benefit from any of the money if you were defrauded. So that's my answer to that, and I did put a more into that statement. So If you have ID theft and you're still working with the original creditor, you are not, if you go into trying to get a 1099-C hardship and all that, they're like, what are you talking about? If you were defrauded, why are you bringing up this other stuff? It sends mixed messages and brings red flags up with them, uh, with the creditor when you start doing that. If you're defrauded, you're defrauded. If you're not, and you just want to stand up for it, you need to tell them, hey, we need to work out something on this debt, but it has to be charged off before they even get into that. The next thing is someone said they were summons them to court for a credit card company that was given 3 times to come up with the information that we told them to provide. Oh, okay, here we go. And this is another thing, real quick. Please, for all the help that I give people, I need you to go to Google and put what do you call it? A good review. Please go to Google and put a review because I know I help a lot of people with real information. Like the stuff that I do and share with you is not fake stuff. This is stuff that is actually helping people seriously. No gimmicks. So it says they summons this individual to court 3 times over credit card collection, and with the information that I provided them with the response, and in January 8th, the case was dismissed without prejudice. There you go. There you go. Here's one, found one thing, experience after blocking their number. Okay, so someone said that when they blocked the number from a debt collector, then debt collector came, called again with another number. Yes, they will do that because if they know that they're calling the right person, they're going to have what's called a rollover, and they can just have several numbers that they can choose from to call you from. Best thing is just to stand up to them. If debt collector calls you, tell them to send you that information, and then you use my 3 letters that I'm going to give you at the end of this video to respond so you can do a proper uh, validation of that debt, plus making sure that they have all of the documentation and that an attorney has reviewed that information. Let's see here. Someone here's one that someone said, where was it? It was about the 1099. So I made a short. Is that what they call it on YouTube? Yes, YouTube short. And I had talked about 1099-C, and someone said that 1099-C, 1099-A, all the conspiracy theories or stuff that people saying that you can buy cars and houses and all that stuff with it, or you can force a 1099-C and discharge your debt, which is not true. But someone said, well, what is it? Why do they have it if it's not true? Well, this is the reason why they have it. Is so say for instance that you go and get a credit card and you don't pay all the money back. But let's just say that you had a $20,000 balance that you did not pay back and you settled with the credit card company for $10,000. And the credit card company did not report to anyone. They just said, hey, we lost the whole $20,000. We lost all $20,000. They can't do that. The 1099-C that they fill out, it's going to be submitted to the IRS so they can let them know the original amount and then the amount that was actually forgiven. That's what it's for. Because then they could just say, "Hey, the person didn't pay us nothing. They didn't pay us any of the money that they owed." So that's the reason why. That's like a good example of why it exists. And then you're asking about all the other property, all the other ones, 1099, the OID form, and 1099-A. If you read, you'll see exactly why they exist. Why they exist. Like this, all of this is for reporting. All of this stuff is for reporting. So the IRS knows what was either abandoned, what was not abandoned, and the amount that it was. And the 1099-A form is specifically used for real estate property. So if you read it, you will see exactly why the forms exist. Some people still believe that your birth certificate is worth millions of dollars. I don't know. Someone said they got summoned to court. The company said, I've watched all your videos to do the research. I'm still a little confused. Well, you need to send your summons to us so we can review it, so we can help you figure out what your next move should be. I could tell you why you would be confused is because you just haven't done it. It would be like telling a kid, like, my grand sons, they play hockey, and it would be like just throwing them out on the ice with a puck and a stick and saying, go play hockey. If you haven't done it before, even if you've seen it, it still cannot, it can not make sense to you because you haven't experienced it. And so, like with my grandsons, what they did is they first taught them how to skate, and then later they taught them how to fall, and then later they put a stick in their hand, taught them how to skate with the stick in their hand, and then they taught them how to deal with the puck. Like it's step by step. And the same thing, if you're being sued by a debt collector in court, let me tell you the first thing so you can understand how this works. First thing is you got to overcome the fear so you won't be paralyzed on what to do. Once you get unparalyzed from the fear, then you have to start manipulating your mind to understand that you can't just say anything in court or even in your response. You can't just say anything, and it has to be said a certain way, and that does matter. Like sometimes people think, well, I'm just going to say this, it's not mine, all of this stuff. That's not going to work. But that's the first thing that can come to our mind is like when we are being attacked, we start to retreat. We can say things under emotional stress, all types of things can come about. What I'm saying is that you have to kind of relax, get unparalyzed from the fear, and then you have to know what you have to do for that particular situation, for that specific situation. And that's you have to make a response to their allegations because they're alleging things. Even though the debt is yours, they're still making allegations. They will use words in there like you enriched yourself. You know, they will say things to try to enhance the way that their case is looking towards the judge. And if you don't know how to counteract that, you're going to be in trouble when you get there, win or lose. You have to do it the right way. Uh, Someone here put the 1099-C where it was a short where I put one of the successful 1099-Cs that was given, cancellation of debt. And they said, what are the consequences? The consequences is the worst consequences that they might have to pay taxes on it. But with the form, uh, IRS insolvency form, I have to this day never seen any clients, consumer or business, have to pay anything on their 1099-C for the debt that was forgiven. Someone said here, does the credit score model affect your credit score? This is the FICO 10. Someone said that you should call your senators on a federal level and your state council members and ward members because it's not fair. With the new FICO 10, like I said, they're going to be changing the way that the algorithm reads the score. It's going to go back uh, 24 months. It's going to figure your risk factors off of 24 months instead of 6 months. So even though your credit monitoring shows 24 months, the risk factors that a lender is going to lend you money on, the way that it has been written up to now, is off of a 6-month risk factor. Now they're going to go 24 months. Let's see here. Someone put, what it what if you're already in collection? So it says here, get your stuff forgiven. If you're already in collections with the original creditor, then you can, if you have a financial plus a medical hardship, craft your information, present it to them to the right department. You can potentially get your debt forgiven. If it's with a debt collector, again, financial and medical hardship. If you go to their websites, sometimes you got to comb through, maybe it's in the FAQ section. You will see that they do consider, they take in the document, not to say that they will do it, but they will consider any financial and medical hardship. And some of the debt collectors will even just consider straight up a financial hardship, and they all have uh, their own ways of determining if they're going to do it. Let's see here. Okay, here's one, and maybe the way that I said it, I'll forgive you of this. So it's the 7 and 7 debt collector rule, the 7 and 7. And I had stated in there, maybe I said it wrong, I'll watch the video. But a debt collector can only call you 7 times if they do not make an engagement. That's where they actually get to talk to you live on the phone. And where there could be a violation is if they call you 8 times in 7 days. So to be clear, 8 times in 7 days, that would be a violation if they never got to talk to you on the phone. You would have to prove it though. So that's the key word. You would have to prove it. And the way that you would prove that is you could look at have your caller ID, and maybe they sent you an email, maybe they reached out on social media. All of that combined is considered a contact. And as long as they never engaged, if they engaged, they would have to stop, and then they couldn't even call you back for another 7 days. Someone put on here, you should not borrow money unless you intend to pay it back. I think that almost, I would say that 99.9% of the people borrow money with the intent to pay it back. Even a person who is borrowing money uh, the wrong way to do something to increase their money, unless they're just straight up a thief, I think that they would even borrow money to be able to give it back because they want to be able to utilize the money to get more money and to get more loans to build their business if they're doing stuff a little bit the wrong way. But like I've always said, it's easier said than done. We've all made those mistakes. Nobody is perfect. But yes, I believe that people, when they borrow money, they do look at paying back. If they didn't look at paying it back, people wouldn't be struggling to make the payments. Someone else said here, just pay your damn bills. Again, I just put my answer in that. Let's see. What's another one here? Someone said if someone purchases an item from a store and it's in higher purchase, uh, address you, I'm not sure, but you might need to redo that question again. From the way I think it was that you, if someone purchased an item from a store and it's an air purchase, the I don't know. I have to. I couldn't understand that question. Is if people spent that much effort staying within their budget, you will not end up in debt. I I totally agree with that. Citibank hires law firms to sue people. Yes, they are. Citibank, yeah, Citibank. They've been hiring a law firm. That you can add that one to my list. Citibank, Discover, Barclays, Capital One, and did I say Amex and American Express? If I didn't say that already. Someone just said they got pre-trial questions. Can you help? Yes. Go to our website, thecreditrepairshop.com. in the live chat. Upload for review. Uh, hey, let's see here. Let's see. Could you reject it? Someone in here. Watch out for these fake comments. If it doesn't have the credit repair shop in black, that's not me. Someone said, "Yeah, I use a double negative." You know, the I could say that when a lot of the time when I speak, and I think that that's with the advertising uh, within me from being in the advertising business is like what what we would do a lot is you want to make sure that people get what you're saying, and yeah, you may not say it with the most proper English or you know construct your sentences in the way that would be 100% proper. But when we're talking to people, this. Let me give you this example. When you're speaking to someone, you can actually say something and then not say something, and they know what you said. And sometimes you may say something twice to them, and they know why you said it twice to them without them saying back to you, I just heard you and you just said it again. So like if somebody say, what's the word that everybody used to say? What was it? 'Cause I used to hate when people would say it. I can't. Well, yeah. Well, like one of them, they'll say, "Can you feel me? Can you feel me? You feel me?" Like they'll say words like that. And there's another word that people say all the time, but it's not necessarily where that would be proper when you're writing or even proper in a video where someone isn't going back and forth with you. But I think that the reason why my videos do really well on those is because when I'm talking, it's like I'm like a person is like reacting back to me. Like so, if I said something like, like I'll get to what was said on there. And thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Uh, Thank you for watching. Well, I can't find it on there, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Sometimes when you're talking, which is what I try to do on my shorts, is like I'm speaking to somebody, and then I'll be like, you know that, right? Or don't do that because you don't want to have that happen. Or if you do that, uh, this is gonna happen to you, and you know that, right? So don't do that. So if you don't do that, you won't have nothing happen to you, or something like that. I don't know. That's just crazy stuff. Um, Someone said here that they're a single woman with no one to turn to for help, had a serious hardship that forced me to use credit cards, ultimately maxing them out. My lease for my apartment is up. Uh, I'm going to write to you to tell you what you got to do. I could just tell you off of my experience. I could just tell you off my experience because at one time I was homeless when I was a teenager, right before I went into the U.S. Army. And I can tell you that number one, the stuff that you go through is something for you in the future to be able to help yourself more and also to be able to help other people. Um, so never, I know it's easier said than done. It's easy when I'm just giving you the advice and you're the one that's going through it. But I'm telling you, and if you can get your mind to formulate around it, And I just made a video about something about this with my business on my business channel. Uh, is that if you could come back, like say you could fast forward 10 years from now and everything was good 10 years from now, and then you could come back to where you are now, would you believe yourself if yourself told you you're going to be good? Like, would you fully believe it? Or would if you're, well, I think that you would believe it if you said that you would be okay because you would be seeing yourself in the future. But if you were to tell yourself that all of the good things that are going to happen to you, what would you have to see and feel and have yourself say to yourself for you to believe it fully 100%? And when I kind of went, me and my wife had a conversation back and forth about it, and what it came down to, what like the bottom line, it was no material stuff. It all came down to, will my family be okay and will I be okay? Like that's what it would all come down to. So with that being said, what I want to tell you, number one, is that you will be okay, and that you have to start thinking about the solution. If you fall flat and go 100% bankrupt and learn a lesson that you won't get into the same situation again, and take full responsibility to move yourself up, whatever your, if you work or if you have a business or whatever your situation is, that you make the changes that are going to be necessary, and you really commit to those changes, not just say those changes. Like a lot of people will say they're going to change. A lot of people say that they're going to, if they can get a fresh start, and that they're going to move forward and put everything into it. What I would hope for someone is, like, if when you can figure out what you're going to do, what you're going to do to be able to move forward, is that you put 100% into it. Don't play around with it. Don't think that tomorrow, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Figure out that the next time. No, you have to put 100% into it. You got to put 100% into it. Like, if you're really going to see any results from making changes, and if you're saying you're a single woman with no one to turn to for help, you do have someone to turn to for help. You have yourself. Like, one big misconception with that people have, and you see this with social media, you see it with YouTube, is that people think that it's on the outside. Like, for what I tell, the things that I'm teaching you, the things that I'm sharing with you, the things that I'm telling you, this is stuff to help you realize that you have the power from inside, that you have the power. A lot of people think that someone else has the power, and then they're just like, I don't know, like, if I push the power into you. No, what I do is I show you your own power, and then you start to take off from where you're at, and then what, you come to me for validation. So, like, what'll happen is you'll start thinking of things, and then you, for some reason, one of my videos will pop up and you'll be like, that was a validation from Steve, and I believe Steve because he was there. But even if it's not me, it could be another video. It could be something that you see on TV. It could be something that you read in a magazine. It could be from somewhere where you're going to get validation. That means that your power is starting to come out from inside, and you're starting to pay more attention, starting to be more aware, and starting to understand that you can make those changes that you need to make in your life. All right, let's see here. Let's see. I do appreciate the content, but I believe you stopped the video from. Oh, I believe that. You want to know? Someone said that I stopped. Like, I'll talk, and then, like, I'll stop the commentary at the wrong time. I do believe that, and I think that that's because uh, a friend of mine, he had told me this a long time ago, because he said that he was the same way. I was a premature baby. So that means, if you don't know what that means, I know most every woman would know what that means that's had a child, is that I came out early. I came out like a month earlier than I was supposed to. And they always say that when a baby is premature, they're always their whole life going fast. Like speak fast. Uh, Sometimes I'll talk, and because I know what I know, I'll kind of stop when I shouldn't have stopped. My wife she'll tell me that. She'll be like, "You're teaching somebody something and you didn't finish or you didn't explain it all the way," and it's like that you're thinking that they already know. And I apologize for that. I apologize for that because I will go fast and I'll sometimes forget and forget to break it all the way down or forget to continue with what I was talking about because I'll be moving too fast on other stuff that I don't want to miss talking about. So I do apologize for that. And with that premature, think of if you have a child that was born early, you know, I bet you that they're like that, where they're like always moving fast, fast pace, always trying to catch up. My friend said you're always trying to catch up. That's how he described it. Like we're always trying to catch up to where we were supposed to be. And my grandson, he was born a month and a half before he was supposed to, and he has the same type of personality that I have. Um, let's see here. Again, watch out for the fake people that are commenting because those people, that's not me. No Gmails for that. We do use Gmail for a specific product, and that's because of the delivery service of it, but not for this. I would never tell you to no customer service through Gmail. I'll put it that way. Uh, let's see here. I think that's it. So if you have any questions or comments, any questions or comments, please put them in the comment box. I'll be up back in there answering them. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch video of what makes us different so you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations, debt validation, and cease and desist collection activities letter. And if you have debt collectors trying to sue you in court, the link is below this video. We can help you. We do a free review so we can let you know what we can and can't do. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.